Body parts. They've been selling body parts. That's old, that's not new. That's why black people don't like to go to hospitals. They go to get their toes clipped, their fingernails clipped, and they wake up and their foot's gone.
They've been utilizing the organs of black people for years, the organs and the body parts and the members of African American people, and that goes back to George Washington. There's a long time myth that George Washington had wooden teeth. We've heard that myth growing up in school. The reality is George Washington did not have wooden teeth because common sense will tell you you can't put wood in your mouth, it gets wet and wet wood is useless. What George Washington did, he had the teeth of his African slaves yanked out of their mouths and he made dentures out of these teeth. And they're on display. His dentures are on display at museums right now. And that just goes to show the history of African people having our bodies mutilated and our members disfigured and mutilated for the betterment and benefit of the dominant society.
In America, at least 2,500 black people go missing every year. At least. Never to be found again, not killed enough, you just don't find them again. Why doesn't that number ever go down? How can you constantly have the same amount of people? Are you trying to say the same killers go out and murder the same amount of people every year? No. Somebody is taking black people off the street. There's been stories on this. Kidnapped by the government. Kidnapped by organ traffickers.
Drive-by shootings is organ stealing.
I'm worth $50 million and I need a kidney. You know, kidneys are pretty sensitive. You gotta find somebody who really got the kidney that matches yours. You think I'm gonna wait till somebody die for me to get one? If I don't get one soon, I'm gonna die. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay somebody to go research people. Okay, let's go look at all the black organ donors. Let's look at all the black people who got organ donor on their driver's license, which is why I'm not a friend of that. I say, if you want to donate your organs, put it in your will. Say that if I die, this can go to my family, my relatives, my friends, or whomever. But when you put it on your license, I believe you make yourself a public target. And so what did they find? We got a guy in Los Angeles. He has the same blood type as you, same kidney type as you likely. He healthy though, he ain't likely to die no time soon. He don't know you, so he ain't gonna give you no organ for free. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna arrange a murder that makes it look like he was in a car accident. We're gonna arrange a murder that makes it look like he committed suicide. So the next thing you know, you coming out the gas station, boom, you get hit by a Mack truck, you dead, gone. You get taken to the funeral home, your family come to the funeral, they don't know that before your body got laid to rest, a little hole was poked and they pulled your kidney out.
A lot of people don't know, when you get arrested or even when you get convicted, a lot of times law enforcement or police will swab your mouth for DNA. And now they have your DNA record on file, they have your genetic information on file. And you have to understand, with law enforcement, a lot of times they'll sell your information to tabloids and, like, especially celebrities, they sell their information to tabloids and magazines and news outlets all the time. So it's not a stretch to believe that they won't use your DNA or your genetic information for nefarious reasons.
You, my son, cops come by and inform me you just been shot dead. You don't have jurisdiction over that body. That's the coroner. You can't get that body till the coroner release you. So we'll get released, we go down and pick it up, and I see all these cuts and these stitches. I just thought they was doing a routine investigation, following the family. I didn't know they took your organs. I'm in all this stress, my son is dead. Now you buried now, I can't dig you up because the court got to have permission. Most of those cases is organ stealing.
It's been known for a long time, even back in slavery times, that black organs were considered superior genetically to other folks' organs. For example, whenever there's a transplant, okay, especially when rich folks get heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney transplant, they like white, they like black organs. We had a famous case in Pennsylvania, Governor Casey, who was one of the most racist governors who ever lived back in the late 80s, early 90s. He had a heart transplant. Guess whose heart they gave him? A black person's heart.
Down in Georgia, there was a case of an African-American 17-year-old kid who was found mysteriously dead at school. He died in the gym. They did an autopsy and they buried him. His family, they weren't satisfied with the results because they still wanted to know what happened to their son. They had the body exhumed, found out that his organs were missing and his body was stuffed with newspapers, and people are still trying to find answers. The officials down there in Georgia, they act like they don't know what's going on. There was another case out here in California. A young African-American man was found dead in Death Valley in the desert. All of his organs were missing. His liver, heart, lungs, kidneys, all gone. There's a case in the UK recently. A Somalian girl was brought over there for organ harvesting. They found out that they were going to harvest her organs and they stopped that. There was another case in Asian couples. They went over to Africa. They adopted a black girl. 2 weeks later, she was dead. So these cases of organ harvesting are just going on all over the world, and people are being real quiet about it.
The Rodney King riots. The cops arrested 18,213 black folks. They couldn't account for 10,000 of them.
That's what happened in New Orleans. Remember when you saw those helicopters? They were picking up all them black babies and taking them up in the helicopter. And my husband and I sit there and said, we wouldn't have sent our son with them. I don't care who they was. We all died in the water together. We wouldn't have sent our baby up there. And they never got a bunch of those children back, as we all know.
Organ harvesting in Africa, it's a business. In fact, they've set up so many sophisticated places around the so-called third world where there are nations like France, England, New Zealand, Israel. All these places now are looking in the impoverished areas because mostly in these impoverished areas like Brazil, places in South Africa, right here on this continent, wherever there's poverty, there's crime. And wherever there's crime, you know there's a lot of deaths and there's a lot of shooting.
They are killing black people for their organs. Think about it. Organs are the only commodity that people must have to live that you cannot buy in a store. So if I am sick and I need a heart, I can't buy that. And we know all the problems with the fake hearts, that they can give a pacemaker to a bad heart. But what about when the heart needs to be replaced? You gotta find a match, and it ain't none on the donor list, and I'm worth $50 million, and I could care less about black people anyway? Guess what? Somebody gonna get shot in a drive-by.
Switch over to Haiti. Jean Bellerive, at the time, he was the prime minister at the time when Haiti was hit with that earthquake that killed over 130,000 brothers and sisters down there in that island. They had a report on CNN with Jean Bellerive, and he said specifically that there was organ harvesting and child kidnapping going on.
And we have already reports of a lot of trafficking, even of organ trafficking.
Of organ trafficking?
Yeah. Now, already.
Of the victims of the earthquake?
Yeah. So,
do you know that for sure?
Yeah, I know that for sure, and it was discussed in Montreal during the conference.
We call it a new form of evil on the world. It's never been done by any government in the past, to take a large group of its own people and say, we're going to kill you without any kind of a trial, and we're going to sell your vital organ parts.
An individual from the United States or Canada, for example, could anticipate undergoing transplantation on a specified date.
It's a crime against humanity. It's abhorrent, and it needs to stop.
If you're going to go to China and you're going to get a liver transplant during the 3 weeks you are there, then that means someone is going to go schedule an execution, blood type and tissue type the potential executee, and have them ready to go before you need to leave.
Starting at the end of 1999, the number of transplants taking place just exploded.
China carries out more organ transplant surgeries than any country besides the United States. But unlike other countries, China has no effective organ donation program. That's because culturally, Chinese people believe the body must stay intact even after death. China's Deputy Minister of Health, Huang Jiefu, has suggested that there are 7,000 transplants every year from the deceased, and that more than 90% come from executed prisoners. The number of criminal executions in China is classified as a state secret, but Amnesty International's estimate is about 1,700.
The numbers just didn't add up. It's just too large of a discrepancy there.
With only 1,700 executed criminals and no effective donation system, where do the rest of the organs come from? Zhao Shuhuan was put in a Chinese labor camp because she practices Falun Gong.
我每到一个劳教所，他都会让我们检查身体，给我们抽血验血。每个劳教所都是。
We estimate that in the period between 2000 and 2005, there are 41,500 transplants which have no other explained source.
I'm absolutely convinced that over a long period from 1999 onwards, organ harvesting from prisoners has been taking place, especially with Falun Gong.
他领了到他那个马三家教养院有医院呢。 那个医院就是做我这理解好像就是验尿啊，抽干咳。
Doctors would come into the camps, they would look in their eyes, they would examine their organs with ultrasound and the like, and they were the only people in these camps who were medically examined thoroughly.
In 2006, two Canadians, international human rights lawyer David Matus and former Secretary of State for Asia Pacific David Kilgore, started to investigate allegations of forced organ harvesting in China. They found at least 52 points of circumstantial evidence, including websites of Chinese hospitals offering matching organs in less than a week.
It's just not possible unless you have an unlimited source of organs. And these are people who are alive. We're talking about live donors. The actual transplant surgery itself was the form of execution. These were living people that were killed for their organs.
Makes you think of some grotesque restaurant where you go in and you pick your lobster in a tank. But these are human beings we're talking about.
The military's making money off of it. The hospitals are making money off of it. The middlemen are making money off of it. And we talk about money. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar operation.
Journalist and author Ethan Gutman decided to carry out his own independent investigation.
We had witnesses of disappearances, people who'd been examined and then had disappeared, busloads, entire prison wards which had been emptied out. The signs began to look like something much, much bigger.
Like Tibetans and house Christians, millions of Falun Gong practitioners are being persecuted in China for their beliefs. In 1999, Communist Party leader Jiang Zemin issued orders to break them financially, ruin their reputations, and destroy them physically. Since then, thousands of Falun Gong practitioners have disappeared without a trace.
What happened to the disappeared? They, as far as we know, they're still there in these camps. Many of them have killed through organ harvesting, but the rest are still there, and they're the organ data bank for China.
Around 1999, there were around 150 transplant centers. 6-7 years later, they had 600 transplantation centers. This is an increase by 300% within such a short period of time without an organ donation program.
Military hospitals get watched in China, okay? There is nothing they can do without the party central taking note of what they're doing. Was this run by triads? No. This is run by the state. This was murder, and it came from the state.
This is a crime against humanity. We should do our best to identify those specific individuals who are engaged in this and put them on the list of people who deserve to be brought to justice.
In 2006, when this came out and we realized that they were killing prisoners of conscience for their organs, it was doctors that took the front line in trying to stop this.
Every day there are a dozen of people that are executed or killed for organs in China. So we have to bring out the message, we have to inform medical doctors to stop this practice.
But it's not only the medical community that's getting informed. The U.S. State Department mentioned allegations of forced organ harvesting in its annual Human Rights Report on China in 2011 for the first time. On October 3rd, 106 U.S. congressional representatives signed this bipartisan Dear Colleague letter to the State Department, demanding they reveal information on organ harvesting that they may have obtained from their sources in China.
This barbaric human rights abuse must be stopped, but to stop it, we first have to further expose it.
And with even more petitions circulating online, the issue is starting to get worldwide attention. But more needs to be done.
Greetings, my people. Turba next year. This is going to be the most important video I've ever done on my Facebook page, because it contains classified, important information that people, not just in Jamaica, but mainly Jamaica, around the world, most people, some people are aware of it, some don't. It is called organ harvesting. Those of us who are living abroad may be a little bit more familiar. But for the Jamaican people, they don't. Most of them will not know what it is. And because the culprits who are financing this heinous act against the Jamaican people know this, they made it seem like it is an abduction and rape. But what drew my attention to do this is a girl, a body was sent to me, a picture of a body of a young girl in a building. That was, her neck was cut and her throat and her chest area was bloodied. I could not see according to the body if her chest was cut. But the problem is her pants was on and she had her jeans pants on. It didn't look, nobody touch her pants. So me I say to myself, they don't rape this. That's what drew my attention. I tried twice on Facebook to go live with this. I put it up once when it was just a suspicion, and Facebook quickly took it down. I tried again, they would not let me connect live, so that's why I choose this route. Now, my people, organ harvesting is big money on the black market. Now, Jamaican people don't know this. Even though Jamaicans are carry out the act on their own people, it is bigger than Jamaicans. Why? Because one human being is worth at least $1 million dead. So you're worth more dead than being alive. Let me explain this. One heart is about $200,000 to $300,000 US. One liver can run anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000. Not to mention the kidneys and the other parts. Okay? The news out of Jamaica is that the police went in on a group of guys, got lead and went into a group of guys, killed one of the guys, and the rest begin to speak. It is an organized thing, and it spread throughout Jamaica, and that is why I was wondering why girls are being killed throughout Jamaica. Now, why young girls is because they are more vulnerable. Why young? Because their heart, their organs are valued more. Right? If you notice, no old people, no men, no boys. Boys will put up a bigger fight than a girl would, because girls are more naive. They know that. Now, so go back to this is not, even though it's the men from Jamaica are doing this because they are paid to do it, it is an outsider work. Now, if one person worth $1 million dead, no Jamaican, me know my Jamaican people them, is gonna fund it. And number one, Jamaican people, majority of Jamaican people are poor and they will not find that money. Now, one person, you know, worth $1 million dead. It is an outside job. It is a foreign country that is targeting Jamaica because them see it as a third world country. Son of a bitches. You understand me? I hope you guys hear this fast before them delete it. And if them delete me, I'm going to post it again. I'm going to also send this video on WhatsApp. I am telling you people, these killings are, and I knew it, that it is organ harvesting. Now, so my word to the people them in Jamaica. Young girls, stop walk alone. People wanna go out in groups. Fathers, go out, meet your daughters, meet your sons. Mothers, do the same. Community, come together. If there is anything suspicious going on that you know is not right, report it. Organ harvesting, it is not the end of it. Because these foreign people gonna keep on pouring the money into Jamaica because it is a big industry, not in Jamaica. It is elsewhere into foreign countries like Colombia, the US, and other countries. Now, let me get it straight and tell you now. Hear me? Go and Google this information. Go and look it up. So Jamaican people, if you think so because you not get killed yet and you're not gonna be a statistics one day, play stupid. Because when a man look at you, he sees a 500,000 or $1 million US. So to you, he might smile and you think he's genuine, but all him see are some dollars. And let me tell you something, Marcus Garvey said when the man back is against the wall, he will do anything when desperation set in. Now, this kind of act will cause a man to kidnap his own picnic, his own family, and sell them. These things have been going on around the world for a while now. And people have been catching on to them, and not only that, the market increases. Now, let me tell you now, who are buying these arts? You think, what these organs, you think, you think it's poor people? Poor people can't buy heart. They can't buy organ because they're not even in America. You understand me? It's big celebrities, doctors and lawyers and money people, pioneers who are funding these things. Because when a Hollywood man wants an organ that they claim is important to him, he will spend big money for a child to be killed to get that heart or that organ or that liver or that kidney. So me are telling the Jamaican people, you know, wise up and unite. If you never unite before, now is the time to unite. Jamaica is a place of community. We bring back the community love and each one teach one and look out for the other. My brothers, if you see a sister coming home late from work one night, walk with her, protect her. See? When you walk together in a group, I'm going to emphasize it again. Walk together in groups. If you protect each other, brethren, I don't know how else to say it. You have to protect each other. It is deadly. The police, this is bigger than the police, and the police cannot stop this right now. It's going to take a collaborative effort of the community to stop this. Okay, do not rely on the government. Do not rely on the police alone. You have to come together and protect one another, because this money is going to keep on pouring in Jamaica until you come together. Okay? So if the money still a come in, a man see the money and him realize him can't catch no more young girls to kill him, I'm going to start catching young boys. And when he can't catch young boys, he's going to start catch anybody at all they can catch, because they're desperate for the money. For it is written that money is the root of all evil. Rastafari, the word of Jah is coming to pass. Money is the root of all evil. You can kill as much of these guys as you want to, but they will keep coming back, because the money is there to fund this operation. US dollars are there, or England pound, or wherever. It is not Jamaican dollar. Jamaican dollar now have no value for do this thing. Me a warn you, know. Me a warn you, take it from Turbanex. Me a warn you. I'm not give a shit. Come here, some official. Me know official I go come in on this. You hear me? Me not afraid of nobody. I'm going to talk. You see me? I want my people them wise up. This is crazy. Me love you know. Share that video you fast. You go Google it fast. You go read up and teach. Mamas, papas, call on the children and make them know how important it is. It is not rape. It is not lovers' quarrel. They are told to make it look like a rape, because they want to confuse you guys and make it think, oh, then just rape that girl. No. Why would a man rape a girl and cut her head off, cut her hand off, cut her foot off, cut off her body, and no, brethren, them things they not go on. When a rape victim is being killed, she's killed to be silent, and once she's dead, the culprit walk down, because there's no evidence against him in the court. But he's not going to spend the time to take this person and cut her to pieces. Why, King? We have to ask yourself these questions. Ask why. When something happens, don't just flare up and get mad. Start ask questions. Why? Okay, why? How this do? And the Jamaican people them and police them down there this is really crazy. I wouldn't have said this long time, Virgin. And make the people them know this. Eh? When they start put out billboards and put it on the TV, so they walk together in a group, and people, if you see anybody that is stranded, trust me, if it means you go and take on out on a way, if you take that person home, do it, because you're going to save another life. Me love you know, me give you the information, can't say me never tell you no. Love you know very much. Peace.